It is February in Tanzania's Serengeti National Park. An estimated 500,000 bearded wildebeest cows will give birth in perfect synchronization. A wildebeest's life is an endless pilgrimage in search of food and water, a migration with no real beginning or end. But for this calf, it starts here, at the moment of birth. Drawn by the seasonal rains, it will follow its mother on a perilous annual journey to the rich grasslands of Kenya's Masai Mara. There, at only 6 months old, it must, along with zebra and gazelle, survive the ambush in paradise. Situated at the northern tip of the Serengeti is Kenya's Masai Mara Game Reserve. Here, savanna grasslands stretch as far as the eye can see, interspersed by clumps of thickets, giving it the appearance of a spotted landscape. And in the language of the Masai people who live there, Masai Mara means spotted land. In earlier times, the Masai people lived a nomadic existence, moving their cattle with the reins for the grazing. Now settled, they and their livestock share the river with other animals. To the west, forming a natural boundary high above the Mara Plains, is the Usiria Escarpment. Alongside of it flows the Mara River. This rocky, volatile river rises in the Mau Forest and runs its course into Lake Victoria. Depending on the seasonal rains in the catchment areas along the Rift Valley, the Mara River can flood at any time of the year. During times of drought, it's the only reliable source of water in the Mara from which to drink. Then the river is a vital lifeline to a multitude of animals. Large numbers of elephant are especially dependent on the river. Living in the Mara River are hippo. Like the migration, they also benefit from the vast grasslands edging the riverbanks. A large variety of birds have also made their home in the riverine forest which hugs the water's edge. Beneath its surface, the river supports a variety of fish. Catfish are part of the food chain for some of Africa's largest crocodiles. But these crocodiles haven't reached their titanic proportions purely on a diet of fish. They know that once a year, the river provides a feast of unimaginable proportions, a brutal banquet, the start of which is signaled by the almost imperceptible sound of distant rumbling hooves of hundreds of thousands of animals heading to Paradise Crossing. The migrating herds follow seasonal rains, leaving Ngorongoro Crater in May, traveling via the eastern margins of Lake Victoria and arriving at the halfway point of their journey, the Mara River, sometime between July and September. An estimated 1 million wildebeest and 200,000 zebra will have to cross this barrier if they are to gain access to the rich grasslands of the Masai Mara. There are many crossing points along this river, but there's one favored place where for thousands of years these animal crossings have taken place. It is called Paradise Crossing. It is here that prey, predator, terrestrial and aquatic all come together and play out some of the most dramatic scenes ever witnessed on the African continent. The first of the Paradise Crossing points is simply known as Top Crossing. It has steep banks and a tiny exit point that can trap and drown hundreds of animals at a time. The second is Middle Crossing, which has rapids to sweep the unlucky downstream. Large, slippery rocks guard its exits. The third, Bottom Crossing, is patrolled by an armada of crocodiles. Croton thickets provide cover for land predators, such as lion. Rain in the Mara acts like a magnet, drawing the migration relentlessly along to the rich grasses which soon appear. The first to arrive on this ancient pilgrimage are the zebra. Their cutting teeth are adapted for grazing taller grass. They prepare suitable short grasses for the wildebeest which follow. Their social system consists of one stallion to several mares and foals in small family groups. This first group has arrived at the lower of Paradise Crossing points, Bottom Crossing. The river stops them in their tracks. Those that have made this journey before sense it will be a dangerous crossing. Unhurried, they quench their thirst. Large crocodiles move towards the zebra. Their low profile in the water allows them to get within a few feet of the zebra. Zebra weigh up to 270 kilograms and may live to 25 years. At times like these, when family herds are forced together, dominant stallions are compelled to fight, as rival males attempt to displace one another. Zebra are one of the few herbivorous animals that will use both teeth and hoof when fighting. Fights can be savage. Fighting viciously, these stallions are getting closer to the river's edge. Eventually defeated, a stallion is forced to swim to the safety of the opposite bank. Several large crocodiles have been watching the fight. As the stallion crosses, a crocodile closes in for the kill. The zebra's broad back is not an easy target, and the stallion is fortunate to escape. on the other side and separated from his mares, he starts to call them. This is sufficient to trigger the first crossing. Quickly, the Goliaths of the river slip in amongst the zebra, looking for an opportunity. It's been several months since the crocodiles have used deep water hunting tactics. With each miss, they fine-tune their technique. The loss of a single zebra is a small sacrifice for this group. It will distract the crocodiles long enough for the rest of the zebra to cross in safety. Though competition for food is at times fierce, their rivalry forces them to cooperate, especially when dealing with such large prey as zebra and wildebeest. Crocodiles do not have the specialized teeth of other predators to slice flesh and crush bone. Their jaws are not designed to chew their food. While some hold the carcass, others rotate their bodies, tearing off large chunks of flesh. By throwing their heads back, they use gravity to send the meat down the gullet. The feeding is cooperative and shows a well-developed social structure, which is unique in reptiles. Further upriver, at Middle Crossing, large concentrations of zebra have attracted a lioness to the crossing point. She's the dominant female in the Paradise Pride. Like the crocodile, she too knows that opportunity knocks at paradise. Slipping along the lip of the bank behind the unsuspecting herd, she moves stealthily into an ambush position. Timing will be critical to the success of this hunt. She maneuvers the zebra, trapping them between the river and the bank, a technique she has used successfully on a number of occasions. The rest is pure instinct. It's not long before other Pride members arrive to join the banquet. Within a few hours, the zebra carcass is almost totally consumed. Much later, a male lion arrives at the kill. His presence is not welcome. As the sun sets over the escarpment, another predator rouses from its afternoon slumber. On a rocky ridge above Middle Crossing, a leopard watches as a herd of buffalo barge across the river. He ignores the herd, as do the crocodiles, knowing there will be easier prey. That evening, a crocodile returns to feed off an impala it caught earlier. To avoid competition, it had taken the impala out of the water. The opportunistic leopard noticed this. The leopard's attack is fearless and decisive. No two migrations are ever the same. Localized rainstorms, seasonal rain and fire combine to create a mosaic of grazing, which dictates the movement of the wildebeest. Wildebeest are often described as creatures put together with leftover parts from other creations, clowns of the plains. Despite their comic appearance, wildebeest are superbly adapted animals designed for life on the move. It takes no more energy for a wildebeest to run or walk a particular distance. They are the perfect size and shape for a migrating animal. Following the trail cut by the zebra, the first hordes of wildebeest have almost reached the Mara River. They hurry on, as if desperately late for an appointment. Collectively, they know that the river lies between them and the rich grasslands on the other side. A deep primeval instinct tells them that however threatening the crossing may be, it must be made. During the night, a hippo cow has given birth to a calf in the shallow water. Unable to swim, the calf becomes separated from its mother. Several crocodiles see the opportunity. The hippo cow quickly imposes herself between the calf and them. With easier prey on the way, the crocodiles back off, and the hippo cow removes her calf from the dangers of the river. Smaller than zebra, wildebeest weigh between 160 to 260 kilograms, well within the prey range of a large crocodile. At first they are hesitant. Then some unknown signal initiates the crossing. The wildebeest enter the water like animals possessed. But there is method in their madness, safety in numbers. At first, the crossing is so dense that the crocs are unable to penetrate the wall of bodies. With clever positioning, the crocs separate the wildebeest. Now they are able to attack. An adult cow is taken. Its orphaned calf completes the crossing without its mother. Separated from its mother, it calls desperately. Then, confused, it plunges suicidally back into the river. Incredibly, a crocodile misjudges its strike, forfeiting an easy kill. The calf makes the opposite bank, but is unable to find the exit. It is trapped in a cul-de-sac, and the crocodile waits for the calf to make a mistake. Finally, it scrambles over the bank, right in front of a waiting hyena. The hyena begins a long, hard, relentless chase towards bottom crossing, where a lioness is waiting to ambush an approaching herd of wildebeest. Taking advantage of the situation, the lioness moves in on the wildebeest calf. Fortune favors the calf, for as the lioness makes her attack, the herd bull confronts her. The terrified calf, having faced 3 of Africa's major predators, escapes in the confusion. Recklessly, it plunges back into the river. Exhausted, the calf nearly drowns, but just manages the opposite bank. Incredibly, it nearly stands on the same croc that previously had almost taken its life. Bewildered, it rejoins the herd. No other cow will adopt the orphan. However, at 6 months old, it is fully weaned, and with a herd, it has a chance of surviving. It is a mystery why an animal like a gazelle, which does not undertake long migrations, would attempt such a dangerous crossing. The gazelle are well aware of the waiting crocs, and at 23 kilograms are slow swimmers and easy targets. The first gazelle attacked miraculously escapes the jaws of death. The next is not so fortunate. The surviving gazelle is swept downstream. Some crocodiles have learned to wait below the